I hope that's not a hostage.
This is Quentin Tarantino, and we're here for another exciting episode of Season 2 of the Video Archives podcast. To this day, that first screening I had of Die Hard at the Avco Center Cinema, which was the movie McTiernan did before this film. That first screening where I ever saw a Die Hard is still one of the greatest screenings I've ever had for a movie in my life. It's one of those screenings that you keep going to movies hoping that you will repeat it. If you already know, if you live in a world where Die Hard has just already existed, that means nothing to you. You already know it's a terrific movie. What was so great about Die Hard is you didn't know that walking into it. It just seemed like a Bruce Willis action film. And he wasn't even the action guy. He still hadn't officially transitioned from TV to movies yet. And his first couple of movies were only so good, these Blake Edwards movies. Not only was it anything but a slam dunk that it was going to be good, it almost suggested like 3 strikes and you're out. Like this would be his last big attempt, and now he's just on moonlighting forever, and then on to the next show after that. Look, since then, there's been Speed, there's been Matrix, there's been other movies. John Wick, you could say, it's not good enough to be in that category, but it's good. It's not there. But in that thing, you don't quite know what to expect. You just hope it's going to be a good version of what you're paying to see, the genre thing you're paying to see, and then it's just so drastically better than that. Well, Arnold Rifkin told me that the reason
Arnold Rifkin, the agent at William Morris.
Who was Bruce Willis's agent. He goes, the reason Bruce signed up for Die Hard was because he watched Nomad. Even more than Predator. It was Nomad.
Wow. That
talked him into signing aboard.
Okay, the thing is, in the case of Bonfire of the Vanities, is the fact that, actually, I go back to Pauline Kael, because she actually said like something perfect with Bonfire of the Vanities in particular. She says, the thing that's so crazy about Bonfire of the Vanities is De Palma had made Bonfire of the Vanities better than anybody ever could back in 1969 when he did the movie Hi Mom with Robert De Niro. All right, this little hippie kind of movie he did that hit on even better than Thomas Wolfe's book. Exactly what he was talking about in that movie. So he didn't need to remake it. He didn't need to make it anymore. Now, but the thing is also, again, going back to something Pauline Kael said about other filmmakers, is Bonfire of the Vanities is a mess. But it's the kind of mess that only a great filmmaker makes. Hacks never go that far wrong. It's like a very talented guy who's just got the wrong idea.
It has to be a genius who lost it.
Or
who went too far because he so believed in himself and he had the confidence.
Yeah, it's more like, it's just like he had a bunch of bad ideas and had the talent of his and the truth of conviction of his bad ideas in that movie. All right, and I don't think he's lost it. I think he felt it hard.
I know he did, because he told me.
Yeah, I think he took it really hard, and he's been playing scrambling ever since. All right,
scrambling to find his footing again, which.
Yes, scrambling to find his footing again, because
which is it confidence?
No, I don't know if it's confidence. I think it's more like the fact that I reached out with he reached out with Casualties of War, and even though the film wasn't a success, got the best reviews of his entire career. All right, so it's like, so he'd reached out before, but then so he reached out even more with Bonfire, and it didn't work. And I think you see, when you look at the films he's been doing since, in the case of Raising Cain. Right. All right, he goes, okay, I'm going to go back and do what I do. All right, my thrillers. All right, and that'll be a cool ground. All right. All right.
Me and Roger pretty much just shared the same brain.
Yeah.
It was like nobody saw movies the way we did. Right. It was like there was nobody else in our field that saw them quite the way we saw them. And we knew we weren't seeing what we saw when we went to the movies. We would go to see films that if it just had a fragment of how we saw movies, just a fragment of that, all right, then that was enough, because that was the most you could ever see was a fragment of something. His wife, Gretchen, we all went and saw The Last Boy Scout.
Right.
And she was like, okay, now that's the first time that I saw a Hollywood movie that seemed as crazy as your guys' movies.
I love that movie.
I love that movie too. I love that Shane Black sperm. And what Tony did with that. And that whole character of John Hollenbeck or whatever his name.
And Damon Wayans is good in that
Yeah,
movie. Yeah, Damon Wayans.
But the thing is, though,
and Halle Berry's in it.
I'm a huge Tony Scott fan.
And then Last Boy Scout comes out, and that was another one that people were kind of mad about after that came out.
I love Joe Hallenbeck's character in Last Boy Scout. I've always said, but as soon as I started meeting like Bruce Willis for Pulp Fiction, I was like, I want you to do another Joe Hallenbeck. Joe Hallenbeck after McClane is my favorite of your characters. I could see 5 Joe Hallenbeck.
What did
movies.
he think of Last Boy Scout? Did he like hold it in high regard, or was
he did it. Yeah, he loved it. Yeah, he liked working with Tony, and he loved that character.
Yeah.
I think it's hands down Shane Black's best character. Like Tony had this like little birthday, and he invited me to the birthday. Wow, Tony Scott.
Yeah.
All right, and actually he was shooting Last Boy Scout at the time, so then I even got invited to the set, and so I met him there. But he liked me, and so he went to my friend. He goes, "What's Quentin's deal? You said he's a writer or something?" And she goes, "Yeah. He's written some scripts, and he's written 2 really, really good ones."
You didn't break one bone. You don't have a scratch on you.
This is Tarantino Takes Over Sky Movies. I'm your host, Quentin Tarantino. What I thought I would do as far as this introduction was concerned is to name my favorite 20 movies that have come out in the last 17 years, basically from 1992 to the present. And what's special about that number is these are the films that I admire the most that have come out since I have become a director myself. And the final film on my, alphabetically, on my top 20 list is M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's Unbreakable.
If you pull that trigger, that bullet is just going to bounce off me and I'm not going to be hurt. But then I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to pack and I'm going to leave.
Which I actually think, one, not only has Bruce Willis's best performance on film that he's ever given. I think he's absolutely magnificent in the film. It also is a brilliant retelling of the Superman mythology. In fact, so much so that to me the film was very obscure when it came out as far as what it was about. I actually think they did themselves a disservice, because you can actually break down what the film was about by basically one sentence that I think would have proved far more intriguing than their ad campaign, which is basically, what if Superman was here on Earth and didn't know he was Superman?
I've never been injured, Elijah. What am I supposed to do?
Which is what the film is about. Of course, you don't know that until you see the movie. Anyway, Unbreakable is, I actually think, one of the masterpieces of our time.